We're going to start the show shortly. Our friend Carl Brown is in the house today. His fourth rodeo, Carl? Third rodeo here?
Third
or fourth rodeo here. We're going to spend a half hour with Carl Brown. Crystal Napier also in the house today. Very excited for Crystal to join us on the show. We have a good one lined up. Give the show a like and a share anywhere you're watching. If it's Facebook, if it's Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Podcasts. Give the show a like and a share. Carl Brown will join us in about T-minus 20 seconds on the show. This will be fun. Vanessa Parkhill, welcome to the broadcast. Nashville, Tennessee, welcome to the broadcast. Arlington and McLean, Virginia, hello. Richmond, Virginia, hello. Of course, our friends in Fluvanna, Crozet, Richmond, Charlottesville, Greene, and Madison are watching right now. Asheville in the house. North Carolina in the house. Peter Sweeney, Carol Thorpe, hello. Johnny Ornalis, thank you for sharing the show. The owner of El Mariachi in Guadalajara, JPA. I love when you share the show. City Hall, welcome to the broadcast. Imagine that. City Hall's watching the show. Judah Wickhauer, my friend, are you ready to lock and load? Judah Wickhauer is our director. We can start when you're ready, sir. Okay, no problem, no problem. Carl, you're feeling good?
Always.
You look sharp.
Appreciate it.
This man's lean and mean. Over the last 18 months, how have you developed this chiseled physique that we call Carl Brown's body?
Conscience.
Really?
Stay conscious.
You throwing up steel? You getting in the weight room?
Nah, just stay consistent in how you eat and what you do in terms of working out and walking and just taking care of yourself, being conscious of, what's going on and how easy it is to slip. And
who's the celebrity that most looks like Carl Brown?
I don't know. I don't look at people in terms. I've heard the Kevin Hart before.
Oh, Kevin Hart! I can see it. Yeah.
So I've actually met Kevin Hart. So we're about. I could go for that because we're about the same size.
Good people.
Good people.
Yeah.
Good people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have some fun here. J-Dubs, let us know the ball's in your court. We'll start the intro, and he'll count us in. Crystal Napier, we can't wait to talk with you either.
Quiet on the set.
All right. We'll watch you. Good Wednesday afternoon, guys. My name is Jerry Miller, and welcome to the I Love Seville show. We're live in the Commonwealth, the country, and the world on the I Love Seville network. Today's show is going to be very, very good. Our friend Carl Brown is in the house in our studio on Market Street in the Macklin building. Crystal Napier on a Wednesday. She's going to join us at about 27 minutes to spotlight Renee's Boutique, and a special someone that means a lot to her in her life. I'll let her offer you those details. Judah Wickhauer is our director. Judah, if you could go to the studio camera, please, and let's welcome our friend Carl Brown to the show. And Carl, I think it's important for us to emphasize before we go down this road, you and I are 8 feet plus apart. We've never gotten within 6 feet since you've entered in this studio, and if we happen to, we will put our mask on. We are doing this interview safely.
I'm totally with it.
Yeah. Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm good. Always good.
So, the Carl Brown introduction. Introduce to everybody who Carl Brown is.
For those who don't know me, Carl Brown, currently the owner and senior consultant for C. Brown and Associates. But basically, we're a diverse management and development consultant solutions. I don't like the word consultant. We work to create solutions. And so, just this year, 2020. I launched, but the coronavirus had hold up a little bit, which has been good in certain aspects because it's allowed me to dig in a little deeper into what I do and what people's needs are in terms of just their personal development and leadership going forward. So.
Your history in Charlottesville. You got Charlottesville in your blood. You
got
Central Virginia in your blood.
It's in my blood. Born and raised in Charlottesville. Lived in Richmond for a period, but most of my years were in Charlottesville. Went to Charlottesville High School, graduated, sports. Have a lot of ties here. My family is deep rooted in Charlottesville from the 40s. So, I pretty much got a good handle and understanding of this community for the most part.
You know it better than I do. Give us the flip book of the community here. Give some things that need attention from childhood until now, and then we'll get into the nitty-gritty of some other things.
An overall view, and like you always talk, I don't like to look at it from a standpoint because I don't know the cure-all, end-alls. Just from my perspective, I think Charlottesville has kind of taken on the root of the whole entire country, and so we kind of see the similarities in terms of what's happening, which is unfortunate, but I think sometimes it's needed just to kind of get to a fresh start. I think a lot of what is going on is a lot of cliquish. I think we need to get back to individuals being individuals first and being able to represent what they strove to be. I'm a firm believer in leadership, and it's not whether I believe it or not, it's the truth. Leadership should benefit the people that you're leading. It shouldn't benefit the leaders. And so that's just something for people to just take note of. I won't go get into it because I don't know a lot about it. That's not something that I put a lot of time into in terms of that's their jobs, and I got a job myself. And so for every minute or hour that I take stressing something that I can't control, somebody is impacted because I control myself, and I know what my value is in terms of helping people is. So I need to make myself available.
Charlottesville High School graduate?
Charlottesville High School graduate.
So what year?
86.
What do you remember from Charlottesville High School in the 80s? You were a popular guy.
Well, I mean, there's a little more freedom than people would like to give credit to, and I think a lot of that was how you navigated it and the relationships you built. And so if I got one thing to say about Charlottesville, it's probably the relationships. It has nothing to do with the school. It's probably, when you think about it, as people, those individuals who still impact your lives, you still have that relationship and can be able to say, 40 years, we've been friends through it all. And so that's probably the most important part. I remember the people most than I do like any particular aspect of the school.
What are some of those people?
Number one, Phil Stinney. Phil Stinney.
Love Phil Stinney. Love you, Coach.
Well, I don't know how many people love him, but I love him.
I love him.
Nobody loves him more than I do.
That's fair.
And so I've been knowing Phil since I was probably 6, 7 years old.
How old is he? Older or younger than you?
He's older than me, about 2 years.
Okay.
And so Phil, Phil took me under his wing a long time ago, and so we had a lot of similarities in just upbringing, and we were able to navigate that. And my friend Clyde Thompson. And so I got a lot of other friends, but you talk about those ones that really get you, understand you, unconditional friends, like read through it all. Like, so Phil was able to go overseas, get drafted, the whole thing. And I've never had a point in my life where it was like this dude play overseas. He was my friend that he was when we were in the park working on. So there's a lot to it, So we came from something else. And so a lot of people don't get the journey. They just get the destination. And so that journey I've been able to share with a lot of people, but those two in particular, only because I still have contact with them and we can reflect on where we've come and be able to appreciate where we are right now.
You're getting love right now from a lot of people. Margaret Matthews giving you some props right now. Corey Tinsley, hello.
My guy.
Give Carl Brown a like and a share. We got folks in Richmond, Virginia watching you as we speak. Same with the 757. Let's throw this to you here. You, a leader. People look up to you. You are a mover and shaker. You have a positive reputation, and you certainly have a legacy that you're building. Let's talk about building that legacy and leaving that mark in this community from a Carl Brown standpoint, because you're doing it with kids. You're doing it by giving assistance and guidance and being the North Star for folks that are incarcerated. You're doing it from a coaching standpoint. You're doing it from kids that are going and playing high-level college ball, that are trying to play professional ball. You're giving them guidance. Can we talk the word legacy and what that means to you and what the word legacy means to a community like Charlottesville that's small?
Legacy. Legacy, first of all, is not going to come from me. So I will never, I'm going to build on what I build on. And so Be Real, my Be Real brand that's going to be my legacy. I see, and it's really not my legacy, and I am very conscious to say that. Nothing is never yours if it's for the benefit of somebody else. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really just sharing tools that have worked for other people and allowing other people to utilize the tool who might not necessarily get it if I were your traditional business that say you got to pay for it. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of give it to them and let them create their own vision of what they think success is. I think too often do we place a lot of emphasis on what other people think success for us is. And I've been in a lot of situations where I have kids that run 4.2s, and instantly they have been determined they're going to be a pro, and they don't even know that that's not even their aspiration. That's not what they view as successful to them. And so I've been conscientious of what individuals want to accomplish themselves, as opposed to us looking at them and from a potential standpoint saying, well, this is what I think you could be a pro and all. You know what I'm saying? You kind of get that. Now, if that's what they want to be, then you kind of on the same page in terms of what you see and what they want to do. But oftentimes you might have to adjust, because everybody's motivation and goals and what they want to accomplish is not the perception of what somebody else sees. And I think too often people get caught up in that.
You're getting props from Michelle Tanner.
Hello.
Is it Brown is Hike is watching the program right now?
Ike, my cousin Ike.
Yeah, I was watching the program right now.
Be real. Ike is a very good example of Be Real. He had to tell his story one day. But that just segues into what I'm saying. So Be Real is what I do. I mean, I use it in my own terms. And the thing about Be Real, and so you got it over there. I basically ask people, when I say that, what does that mean? What does Be Real mean?
Be Real is an acronym. And Be Real,
And so you kind of ask them first before you even go into the acronym, because people look at it as a short sentence, be real. And so it's not even a sentence. It's basically giving you is a period behind it. Be real. What does that mean to you? And so people in their own head get to acknowledge what that means to you. And most people say truth, be straight up, and all of that. Okay. Once you flip it, and Jerry can read off what be real means.
Got it here.
You use what your first response was. So if I said be real, whoever, your response is that means truth. That means all of that. So Jerry, you can read off what that means. So keep that in mind, what you said, and then Jerry said, and then ask yourself that truth when he asks you these questions. Go ahead,
be real. B, believe in you and be your best you every day. E, evolve for a better overall you, allow you to grow. R, respect yourself always in all that you do. E, effort is what it will get to get done. Double your effort. Attitude, always maintain your belief in you. It's all process. Stay positive. L, listen to learn, not just to reply.
Okay, so now we talked about Be Real. So you got it in two forms. You got it in terms of a quote type form, and then you have it in an acronym form. So you take the quote and what you basically responded to off of that quote, then you ask yourself, do you believe it? So number one, anything we trying to accomplish, you got to first believe it. I don't care if nobody else believe it. You have to establish that you believe that. And that's on you. That's that faith, that unseen faith. That's on. Evolution we're moving. The Earth on its axis is moving right now, though we can't feel it. That's the same thing with evolution. There are small things that we can do to break habits that we have to help us grow to the next level of what we believe. If your goal is, I want to finish school, there's some different things you're going to have to do that you do now than when you start school. Study habits, how you go. Most people right now are parents and going back to school. So how are you going to juggle your family, your education, your work? How are you going to do that? It's doable, but how are you going to do that? It's an evolution. You're not going to do it all at once. You're going to say, okay, I'm going to put them down a little early and I'm going to get 30 minutes in and see how that works. And so it gives you an opportunity to kind of map it out yourself. The respect part of it is what it is. It says what it says. Never should you get to a point where you are feeling some kind of way where you got to disrespect somebody. In my life, I can say this. The only time I've been disrespectful was when I've been disrespected. You understand? So I'm going to come at you, and I can cut off conversations that I see going there. Generally, somebody that kind of got to that point where they became disrespectful, an opinion came in, and you say something, and then I have to respond to it. Now, am I perfect? No, I've grown to that point because there was a time that I was that other person. You say something, and particularly when it comes to sports, and it's generally competition.
Yeah, because the macho comes out.
Well,
it's
it's the competitive edge. It's not even a macho thing. Basically, I was raised on a no back down. I'm 5'5", playing basketball. For me to even be able to exist on a basketball court, I had to bring something else. I brought dog to the table. You understand what I'm saying? I was going to be that dude. If something went down, I'm going to protect my players, and I was going to run up on the 6'6" dude just to let him know, fighting all of us. You understand what I'm saying? And that worked out, and I taught my teams how to do that. But I had to learn I'm not in that competition mode no more. The focus is me. I am my competition.
Sure.
So I can't go at people. I don't have a right to go at people and be disrespectful just off of my opinion.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then adjusting your attitude. Basically, a lot of times we get to points in our lives where we hear no, and we instantly think that's the end all be all, and basically not even understanding that's going to be your altitude. Sometimes one of the things I tell people, particularly who want to go into a new profession or just get into the understanding of what the process is in obtaining a job. Basically, when you go in and even if they don't ask you anything, ask them, is there anything I could have done better to help me get this job?
In the interview.
In the interview. Ask that question. He might say, well, next time when you come in, be a little more da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And good luck to you. Guess what? That's something you take out of that you can use for the next job. That might not have been the job you needed. So don't get to the point, I ain't going to apply no more, man. I know they ain't going to give it. Nah, you can't think like that because now you've told 1 trillion sensitive cells in your body that it's not going to happen.
Love that.
You've already told that. Your mind.
Power of the mind.
Power of the mind. You've
Love
already told. And a lot of people do that. Disappointment becomes a part of people's makeup. Disappointment is something that happens and you're supposed to move on.
Disappointment can be willed into the universe.
Yes, it
by
can.
what you're thinking.
Exactly. So, I mean, and then listening to learn. That's the hardest one. A lot of times we just reply. We don't listen what's being asked of us. We listen how it's being asked. Listen to what a person is actually saying, and they'll tell you a lot. And I've learned that. And people will say, oh, you were talking all that. I talk when I have to talk now. But generally, I'm not big on a lot of conversations and small talk, filler talk. I'm not a lot big
you
on
like
that.
your action.
Yeah. I want to be able to talk about something that I can
Tangible.
say, okay, let's talk about this. Let's go do this. This is what, let me jump on the research of this or what, you know what I'm saying? And so you put those things together, the believe, the evolve, the respect, the effort, the attitude, and the listen, and the learn. And you ask yourself, what are my strengths first? Write it down. What are my weaknesses out of just these 6 things? All of us have weaknesses, and that's the other thing. We got to take off these masks we wear because we perpetuate like we perfect. Or
You're talking figuratively.
I'm talking figuratively. Everybody in this world.
Yeah.
Everybody in this world know they have weaknesses. The only thing they do is they don't dispel them, and that's called transparency. So if you go into a situation and you know you don't know how to do the situation, and you go into the situation and do it, knowing you didn't do it, come on, you're going to impact everybody that's involved in that, as opposed to saying, I really don't know how to do this.
Carl Brown,
Can you
give
show
Carl
me
Brown some props here. You're getting props from Timothy Robertson. Timothy Robertson says, what up, Carl?
What's going on, Tim? Long time no see.
Judy Fields Clark, hello. Carter
Judy.
Brown, hello. Welcome to the broadcast. Lorenzo Thomas Sr., hello.
That's
and
my,
welcome to the
now,
broadcast.
hold on. Let me back up because you said that right there.
Phil Stinney, coach is watching. What's up, coach?
My guys.
Your boy. I love that guy.
And so you mentioned Lorenzo Thomas. That's my other guy on a whole nother level of thinking. So when I was growing up, that was like and we grew up, me, him, all of us grew up together, but everything was different. That's my think tank guy. That's one of the smartest dudes I've ever met in my life. And we had the opportunity to go to college, grow up together, go to college. And we've always been those guys that kind of thought outside the box, like what is, and so you have those kind of people around you. You can only be successful if you buy into it. And the honesty that we all brought to each other in terms of being straight up. Like, if you mess up, you messed up, bro. Fix it and let's go.
Best boys basketball you ever see play in Central Virginia?
Best boys basketball player or team?
Both.
All right, so
in your era,
in my era,
I mean, it's got to be Phil, right?
No. Phil tell you it won't Phil. Now, when Phil got to the height of what he was, he do what he do.
You're saying when he got to 6'8", 6'9"?
No, he's always been that way. When he got his knee surgeries and we went to the lab the summer before his junior year, and we went into the lab, which we still do. People got to figure that out. But when we went to the lab and came out, that's when people recognized Phil as, after he had put the work in. Now, the year before, he had knee braces on, and they didn't even want to play him. So he put that work in now. And so, much like his son, Aaron, I'm just watching him in Super Bowl.
Aaron City played
People
the
need
Super
to
Bowl.
understand that chip came from somewhere because Phil's always had a chip like, okay, I got you. And so off of his chip, that became my chip. And so we just walk around with chips on our shoulder all the time.
Best guy, best boy player you ever seen play. Can I throw some out?
Go ahead, I'll take it.
So my era in Central Virginia started in 2000 when I got to college here at UVA, and then I started working part-time at the newspaper. So I don't know anything really pre-2000, 2001.
All right, so you name who you name, and then I'm going to probably have to go pre on you. But go ahead.
Go before me.
I'm going to end this conversation real quick.
So I'll throw some out there. I'm going to throw Bradley Starks out there.
I trained Bradley. Bradley did very well for the time he was in.
Sheriff, I believe, in Orange County now.
Yeah, he doing something in surveillance security, something like that.
Okay, gotcha. Brad Starks played football at West Virginia.
For his time and his development, yeah, he became the best because you saw the work he put in us. So I worked with Bradley. I had the opportunity to work with Bradley and kind of train Bradley from like 8th grade all the way up. So I caught him when he was young. So he didn't even know. I can remember games that Bradley was so eager to go in, and I was like, this is not your time. And then his time came. Bradley's breakout party was at Georgia Tech. We went to the Atlanta Celtics Classic, which was like a week long.
This is AAU?
This was AAU, high level at those days. And so Bradley's going on 9th grade, 10th grade. That was his coming out party where he just started dunking and doing against top level. And that's when I said, okay, your time is coming. The rest is
that
history.
Orange County basketball team that made it to the Virginia High School League state championship and lost, coached by Tim Taylor, had Asa Chapman, Quentin Hunter, and Bradley Starks on it. The best athlete of those three may have even been Asa Chapman, a 6'5", 300-pound guy who could handle the rock like a point guard and could freaking dunk from the free throw line.
I'll give him he was a good athlete, but to say he was the best athlete out there,
we'll give it to Bradley. Now,
you ain't giving it to him. He was the best athlete. Bradley was 4'3". If Bradley don't hurt his knee, his last year at West Virginia, Bradley's in the league.
If Bradley chooses, instead of playing football at West Virginia, if he had chosen to play basketball at West Virginia, he's in the league.
Basketball a little different when you talk about that league.
So you thought football was his best play?
And to get to the league, he was 4'2". He fit the mold for that. Basketball, he now becomes a 6'3". And
6'3", 6'4".
4'2s don't work in basketball. They don't give a poot about 4'2s. And so the game evolved so much, you kind of got to look at it during that time. He probably was a better football player for that time because he was 6'3". He was a big receiver. He was a fast receiver. He could catch. He was athletic. He was smart.
He was long and rangy. Yeah.
And he was making plays. I mean, basically, he was playing. He played as a freshman all the way through.
Right.
The knee injury jacked him up a little bit.
Okay. So I'll go Starks from on.
How many you get? 3? How many you going to take?
I'll go 1 because you know this better than I do. I think we're clear-cut in
agreement.
agreement.
So you saying Starks is the best in your eyesight? Bradley Starks
in my era, from 2000 to now, because and frankly, it's 2000 to 2015 because I got out of the game after. I'm
gonna go in history and listen. You would find, and I know a lot of cats didn't play. Carl Brock Jr. by far.
I know that name.
Is the best basketball product
to come from Central Virginia.
Ever.
Okay.
Ever.
Okay.
Now the road he took.
Do you guys agree or disagree? Put your comments in the feed.
I mean,
agree or disagree?
There's a proof in the pudding once you taste it. If you didn't see it, you can't talk about it.
What year was he?
He was a year ahead of Phil. Now, listen, when people were talking about Michael Jordan, what he was doing Michael Jordan when there was no Michael Jordan.
What happened to him?
He went to school. He actually ended up passing away, but he went to Fork Union, and then he went and played at Norfolk State and helped them do that. And then
Spartans.
And then it went from there. And there was a time where recruiting and scouting and all that stuff wasn't as prevalent as it is now. So coming from a black school, you ain't gonna get a lot of attention that you would if you were coming from a major college. And back then, Norfolk State was CIAA, so they weren't even Division I. So you got the love from the HBCU community in terms of them knowing what was going on, but in terms of the mainstream, something even like Virginia, they wouldn't, but by far, don't even talk about all that. By far, the best basketball player. He had a cast on his wrist. I watched this. He had a cast. I saw him get 28 with a cast on his wrist.
Shooting hand?
Shooting hand.
Jeez. So he's just tacking a rack then.
Oh, dude, he's 6'6". He was Michael Jordan. I mean, basically, I watched him do a tomahawk in the game, the one that Jordan did when he brought out. I watched Brock do that in like 83 against the best. So back those days, we were playing.
I love talking with you.
Yeah, well, back in those days, it was a Western District, and the Western District was by far the best district in the state of Virginia. They basically made Maryland football team. They started, and then those guys were going to Penn State, and this is going 29 South, and so it was Charlottesville, Albemarle, and everything South. All the Lynchburg schools, Danville, Halifax,
Glass.
All of that. That was your
those were
league.
Nasty teams.
And so people were like, well, y'all know, we were in the top division. And for us to win a beat Danville.
That was like the Peninsula District is now.
Yeah, well, yeah. So what Tidal Water is now,
that's
what we were back then.
I've actually heard that from a lot of people.
Yeah.
Are we in agreement that Kitty Cat, someone tag Andrea Barber. Are we in agreement Kitty Cat Barber's the best female you've ever seen? Ooh, he's thinking about it.
Well, I know her a little differently. You know what I'm saying? So when you talk about
she's the best
at what she do.
You say Melissa Stepp?
I think basketball can be valued in so many different. Is all in what a person has to do for her team to win and to get her team. It's a buy-in. And so who's going to make their team better?
Well, you can make the argument that Barber had a hell of a lot more talent around her than Stepp, and that Stepp was more valuable to the team
Well,
than
if you
Barber.
talk about it now,
because Barber had Churchman, Carter, and Kendra Allen.
Yeah, but if you talk about, all right, so you can have all of them, but if their will to win is not like Melissa's will to win, which in essence, I mean,
I think Kitty Cat had that will. Kitty Cat had that will.
Well, and then there are other levels.
Well, sure, Stepp would step on your throat.
Listen, Stepp would do exactly what she was going to do. She's going to step up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So she understood the levels of competition, and she thrived.
What's she doing
at to have working, married, have another baby,
really
living life. Yeah.
How about Kitty Cat?
Working. I just saw her over the weekend. Working, still doing what she do.
Kitty Cat, I would love to get you on the show. Anytime you want to come on the show, please. It would be open and be fair. Let me throw this to you here. Tough question.
But you never answered the girls.
Well, yeah, I think you think it's either Stepp or Barber for you, right?
Well, they're two different kind of players. So,
Stepp's a point guard, Barber's a slasher.
You got to look at it from the whole overall game. There are aspects of Kitty Cat. Those are two different players in terms of how they're going to go about what they do. Kitty Cat going to fill the stat sheet up and she's going to play the whole game. Now, when it comes to situations like double teams and understanding who I'm going to get off because I know this is going to happen, I probably would go a little more with Melissa because she's going to be thinking the game throughout the game on what she need to do. She'll understand, okay, I'm going to score because they are not scoring, or I'm going to get her off. And so it's a different kind of thinking. If you just go on pound for pound athleticism, Bradley was all of that. That's why I give Bradley that. He was all of that in one. He understood.
He was a leader.
He understood. His team was going to follow him, and he understood they're doing this, I'm going to get you off. Or they're not going to play me like this, I'm going to get 30 on them. And so that's a different kind of understanding. So when you talk about the best, I need all of that. I need all.
So you giving the edge to Stepp? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying that they're all different basketball players, and if you start the class, you put them in a pedestal, and everybody has different aspects. In certain aspects for Kitty Cat could dominate any game.
Anytime she wanted.
As a freshman. But here it is. When you run, she didn't, but when you have like-minded. And so it's kind of, I don't judge those individuals that I've worked with. So we're not competition. We all have the same mindset that we in go mode. So we going against each other. I expect you to go at me, and you expect me to go at you.
You just got that comment on the feed. Corey Tinsley, the most mentally tough cornerback I ever played with, was a 5-foot frame and a 6-foot body, and his name was Carl Brown.
That's my guy. And so you learn that, and so you can't. I mean,
John Hopper giving you props, Mary Brown giving you props.
That's my mom.
Joseph Woodson giving you props, Malik Ward, Sean Pendleton. I mean, the list can continue. You got 6 different states watching you this show. I got a tough question I got to ask you. You know where I'm going to go?
Go.
Okay. You talk about Bradley Starks, and Bradley Starks had the unique ability of bringing the best out of other people around him. There was no person I enjoyed interviewing more after a game than, say, a Bradley Starks or a Kevin Leatherwood. Starks and Leatherwood would, after the game, give me this education on basketball. This is what I saw, Jerry. This is why I attacked the rack here. This is why I kicked the Quentin Hunter for the 3, because I knew they were playing me this way. Kevin Leatherwood, I knew I had a wide body. I could get in the post. I could use my left hand, and I could finish this way. And if they pushed me out of the post, I could attack off the dribble and get to the rack. And if they foul me, I could connect at the stripe because I shoot at a high clip at the line. Okay? So I'm literally learning from 17-year-olds in college, absorbing it. And Brad and Kevin and Melissa and you all have the same qualities that, frankly, everyone wants. And it's people want to be around you, and you bring the best out for the people that are around you. You have that quality. So I'm going to apply it to Charlottesville and what's going on in government, and I'm going to let you go anywhere you want with that topic. Anywhere you want. It's an open-ended question. Because you follow it. You know the people.
I follow it to a certain degree. I mean, it pop up on your stuff. That don't mean I'm going to sit there and read it. You kind of proof in the pudding once you taste it. It is obvious that there are some things that are going on with our government, and we would like to pinpoint one way or another is because of this. It's because of history, man.
Okay.
And so, I mean, we just
What do you mean by that?
Well, history dictates everything. Basically, this is not new. We have never been in a society where you've had blacks really voicing their opinions, saying, guess what? And people need to know this. We're not going for that no more. It ain't even, pipe down. We're not going for that no more. Now, how you do that, How you do that is how you do that. You know what I'm saying? But society as a whole need to understand you got to respect everybody. And you just can't come in with these perceptions. And I think there have been some perceptions. And we're talking about politics. And I don't do politics.
Right.
But everybody know if we got to put another name to it, it's something different. How about that?
What does that mean?
Well, there's politics and then there's all of us. You understand? We just don't say this person represents us or the People's Congress or whatever. There's nothing. Politics is his own game.
Sure.
His own entity. And they dictate everything. So if they're doing what they do in politics to get the vote and we're not getting what we want out of it, it's two separate entities.
So you're saying we have the control at the voter booth.
Exactly.
That's what you're saying.
Listen, politicians have taken advantage of the fact that we are mediocre in our terms of how we're going to vote you, and basically it becomes a 1 year, 2 year, whatever term it is, and we got to get out and vote without holding them to the fire and say, I ain't watch you do no work all year long. Now you want to run for why? Ask real questions. Like once they get there and we start asking the questions, why are we not asking those questions before they get there? We can do it, and politicians gonna play politicians. But and politicians need to be transparent enough to go get those hardline questions, because that's gonna get you over. If you can be truthful and transparent with people, they at least know I might not like it, but guess what? At least he was straight up with it.
Well said.
You know what I'm saying?
Well said.
Politicians, they're not straight up, and I'll tell them all to their face, you're not straight up. And from what I do, I would be curious to see what they really believe deep inside as an individual. Take the Democratic off you, take the title off you, and ask yourself butt naked, and I don't mean literally, but if you want to go literally, go in the bathroom and ask yourself butt naked, do I believe
what I'm saying,
what I'm doing, and what I'm saying to be true? No audience, look in the mirror and see what that gives you.
I love that.
But don't forget to cut the light on. Don't do it in the dark, because you need to see the true essence of what you really doing. And if you don't like it, you know somebody else don't like it.
Well said. Well said. The essence of be real is being the best version of yourself.
Every single day.
Is being the best version of yourself.
The best version of yourself, and working and consciously being the best, not just getting up and going through the parallels of, I got to go to work.
Not going through the motions.
Not going through the motions.
Yeah.
Have be on a mission in everything you do. And
make it a habit.
Make it, and that's all you're doing is you're developing new habits to give yourself a better opportunity of what you want to accomplish. That's
Amen.
it.
Amen. So,
That's it.
we go about that the same way. So if you're the best version of yourself every day and you make it a habit, it stops becoming difficult.
Exactly.
Because you're doing it every day, and it becomes the norm. So here's the question I have for you. What is the best version of Charlottesville, Virginia?
They haven't seen it yet.
Wow. This is why I love
They haven't
talking
seen
with
it.
you.
Listen, they haven't seen their best version of themselves yet.
Tell me why.
Well, because they don't even know who they are right now. The individuals in the community don't really know until you can get to the point where you're going to be straight up and say, okay, this is where we are right now. We know it. Stop playing the games. Listen, and it's not on me, because I have nothing to do with it.
Sure, you're a man with thoughts,
even if they were doing as well as they wanted to do, the direct impact on me is not going to be. I got some other stuff that I got to do. I can't be dictated about what city government going to do, or basically they going to send me my personal property taxes like they always do. How about this? They ain't gone so bad that they ain't collecting that money. They still getting city property taxes and all of that. That's my responsibility to them, and that's it. I don't gotta go now I know I have the right if I really want to go question something, but I control me, so I don't gotta question anything. I know what I need to do, and that's what I'm gonna do. And they'll see it or they won't see it. It don't matter to me. But as long as I know I'm going to be the best person every day, don't matter.
Where do we go from here?
Up.
As a community.
Up.
Amen.
If you're gonna get down and lay down, at one point it's gonna change. You gotta be where you're gonna fit in there. For me personally, the people I work with, I want them to understand your past doesn't define you, and it actually becomes your wealth, because your experience is going to be able to help somebody else, number one, and help you get over those parallels. But you got to be willing to identify them and say, I know that, but that ain't me. You know what I'm saying? I think too often, and I hear people take a situation, an incident, and that becomes them. Oh, I'm done. I ain't gonna never be. No. Patience and process. We can work through anything.
All right, we got questions coming in. Crystal Napier is going to join us in 3 minutes. We've gone 37 minutes already. It felt like 3 minutes.
All right, there it is.
Yeah, it felt like I got a lot of comments coming in. One of your friends is watching in Beirut.
Mm-hmm. Who is that?
Maurice Ford.
That's my guy.
He said the same thing. He said the same thing about you. He's watching in Beirut. John Hopper, me and Carl was the toughest in the hood.
That's my guy.
Grew up together. Tell him much love from John Hopper.
John Hopper, you already know love always.
Ruth White, they were all great, but they learned from the legends. The 80s and 90s ballers set the tone for Central Virginia. Shahid Abdul Salam, we need to link up. Great message. Judy Fields Clark, don't forget to cut the light on. I love that, Carl. I'm going to use it. Damian Tyler, 100 coach. Maurice Ford, I'll be home on the 20th. I'm glad I caught you today. Be the best. Ruth has a question, and we're going to close with this. Dan says, great interview. Cora Houghton says, amen. We're going to close with this with Carl Brown. Anytime you want to come back here, I will roll out the freaking red carpet.
I will.
I will change the schedule. I will cancel people.
All right, there it is.
I swear.
I'll get back with you. We can follow up.
I sincerely mean that.
And so if we're going to do this, I think people need to, people just need to understand, like, let's get away from the external. All those things around. When you walk out your door, is a whole new world. Let's work on the internal, what you can control inside of you. I'm going to leave you with this.
How about this? Leave with this question from Ruth, because it's good.
All right.
And it's right at what you're talking about.
Okay.
And Crystal Napier, we're going to you right after this. Ruth Wright, we all know Charlottesville has the potential to be great, but let's talk about it and fix the reality of what is right now.
There it is.
How about that topic? And close on that. Good question.
Reality is reality. So the people that need to have the conversations need to be willing to talk, and that's the bottom line. There are a lot of people in this community doing a lot of things that people are going on, and most of what we hear about is what our leaders are doing, and it don't come off right. But that doesn't put anybody else who's doing something that, we're putting too much attention on the wrong stuff. Let's look at the good work people doing in this community. And I see it all the time. And they don't get any credit and use them as examples as, look, this is your community and this is what they're doing with nothing. And you got all the power. Won't you go into that realm and bring them in and have some good conversations? Listen, I put myself out there to the city before, and I'll put it out there again. If you want some consultation from an inside that can give you some good solutions, I'm not coming to have conversations. I don't do conversations. I already know where you are. We just need to look at what is what and how we're going to fix it. That's a solution. We don't need to keep talking about problems and problems and problems and problems and problems, because every day you do that, you get more problems. When are we going to get to the point where we're going to create some solutions? I create solutions. And my body of work says that. So, like, I don't believe in branding, and I'm going to put myself out there. My work will speak for it. If you inquire about it, my work will speak for it. So on that, listen to learn and not reply. How about that? That's what I'm going to leave you with.
Can we get a photo of Coach Carl Brown here on set for this package, J-Dubs? We're going to get a picture. Troy Robinson. Troy, it's great to see you that you're back in good health. Troy Robertson, Be Real is a life-changing movement that everyone needs to do. Crystal Napier, we're going to go to Crystal in 30 seconds. She's another rock star. Carl Brown, yes, yes, yes. Yes to transparency and honesty in politics. Yes.
Yes, sir.
From Crystal Napier. Get this man a good photo right here. Carl Brown is looking good. Hey, I sincerely meant what I said.
We got this time now, so I can come through when I'm doing what I do. And
text me anytime.
I got you. I will do.
Please.
I will do. We need to build on this, because, people won't start to use it, and we can talk about how they go about doing it.
Well, and on top of that, you and I have a tangible and palpable chemistry here.
It's crazy that you would say about...
Can you not see? You could see the back and forth, right? It's like Tony and Mike.
But you understand, listen, you are like... So I just gave you Be Real, but you kind of get an understanding, because all right, so you said Melissa trained her. That's under me. Kitty Cat trained her.
Bradley.
That's under me. Bradley trained her. That's under me. Kevin trained him.
Leatherwood.
Under me. Denzel Wilson, him.
Point guard, Albemarle County.
Devin Gentry.
Point guard, Charlottesville High School, Devin Gentry.
I'm not even leaving anybody out, but what I say is I don't give, and I teach to teach. What do I mean by that? Those that I teach what we do, teach that to other people.
Yeah, that's called, you know what that's called? That's called legacy.
That's called leadership.
That's called leadership, right?
That's called leadership.
That's called leadership.
You're supposed to,
that's leadership.
As a leader, you're supposed to make the people that you're leading better so they can go lead, and then you get a bunch of leaders.
Okay. The man just said it better than I could. What he just said, and I'm not even going to take it anywhere else than what he just said, applies to so much in Charlottesville.
Exactly.
And we'll leave it at that.
Exactly.
Is that fair?
That's fair.
Hey.
Much love, man. Always, man. Stay
Carl,
strong.
Seriously.
Oh,
anytime.
Dude, you already know, dude.
Good to see you, friend.
Always.
J-Dubs, I'm going to get Crystal on the line via Skype here, and then we got to make sure we got the red carpet for Carl to get out of the place anytime you want.
I got you.
Yeah. Crystal Napier, we're rigging you right now on Skype.
Are we
She
done?
loved, yes, sir. Yes, sir. We got Crystal on the line now, J-Dubs. So Crystal is watching. Crystal, you look absolutely beautiful. I'm going to ask you what you're wearing here in a matter of seconds. But before I do, some of the stuff that Carl was saying resonated with you. Why so?
Carl was just so real, and I'm all about that. And when he hit the nail on the head with me when he was talking about, it takes transparency and politics to make change, and that's something I've talked about, and that's how I was raised, to be honest and transparent with folks. And if we have more of that, I think we would be better as a community as a whole and as a world, honestly.
as a whole world. As a whole world. Crystal Napier, owner of Renee's Boutique. We're about to spotlight someone incredibly special here on this show. Before we do, and I'm going to let her know why, let her explain to you guys why this person is special. Give us some insight into what you're wearing, what's behind you. You look fantastic.
Well, thanks, Jerry. I'm actually wearing a top that I literally sold the last piece this morning to an old high school friend. It's a crisscross sweater. It
nice.
has the detail in the back. And so I'm really excited to be, finishing up with some of the collections that I have because I'm launching the new website next week. It's happening. So I'm really excited about that. And then I have a new setup here, changing it up a little bit, showcasing my PPE queen over here.
I love it. Those masks have been red hot.
They have. So we have the Black History icon mask, and then the Queen Collection mask, which she's wearing. It's a lady in a head wrap. And then we have her wearing the pashmina as a head wrap as well. And our mystery tote collection has been super hot. Folks have really enjoyed and taken advantage of that wonderful deal because you get 5 fantastic pieces from Renee's Boutique for the price of $49.95. And I think ladies are just having fun that I get to personally style them, and they've been leaving me a few notes to let me know a little bit of detail about them, and we've had some great feedback, positive vibes, and it's really it's a hit with folks. So check out the mystery tote. It's the perfect Valentine's Day gift for your loved ones, and that kind of leads me into the person that I get to spotlight today that's near and dear to my heart, which is my mother.
I love it. And before we go down the road of spotlighting her mom, AKA the mayor of Nelson County, her name is Betty Howard, Renee's Boutique LLC.com. Renee's Boutique LLC.com for your Valentine's Day gift ideas. Betty Howard, Crystal.
Yes. So I thought about it, and I was like, this would be a great segment to showcase and spotlight my mother, who is actually an entrepreneur and has been an incredible community organizer in Nelson County, and has truly, reached out and been serving her community pretty much all of her life. And I'm just incredibly proud of her and just honored to be her daughter. And also, today is so significant. I thought, in the spirit of Valentine's Day, this is the love month. What better love story than of my parents who, if my father was still here today, they would have celebrated 40 years of being married on today.
Wow. Tell us the love story.
So both of my parents actually were married before they met each other. Both went through pretty rough divorces. And my mom was a single mother for a while because she had my older brother and sister. And she actually, at the age of 15, my mom basically adopted 4 of her brothers and sisters at the age of 15. She was adopted herself. She began working and attending school and got herself through school, and she started working cleaning houses. And that's what she did. She became pretty much an incredible house cleaner. I mean, she's phenomenal. Like Molly Mae, these other cleaning companies seriously don't have anything on her. And she, has established that business. She's been in business, goodness, at least 40 years.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And so she established her name. She raised her brothers and sisters and then two of her kids on her own. And she met my father, who is originally from Waynesboro, Virginia, and he was working in Nelson County. She met him because he was a meat cutter at the IGA, which is still there in Nellis Ford, Virginia. And she was introduced to him by an older gentleman in the neighborhood. We called him Mr. Fitch. He said, I want you to go and meet this boy. He's a good boy, and I think he'll be good for you. And so she went into the grocery store, and she met my dad, and the rest is history. You know, they ended up getting married, and a year later, I came along. And then I have two other younger brothers. We are 4 years apart, and they are the hardest working folks I've ever met in my life. Just incredible strength that they have given us, and like the morals and the values that they taught us growing up. I get emotional because I'm just so blessed to have such a solid foundation.
Well, they would be extremely proud of you because you embody all those qualities yourself, Crystal, and then some. Who charmed who at the IGA in Nellisford? Was it your mom with the game, or was it your dad with the game?
So my dad always kept game. Like my mom and I were laughing this morning because that's just his personality. He was definitely always a charmer. And we laughed because Micah, my son, truly, I look at him every day, and he encompasses the spirit of my father. He is like truly a charmer, always the center of attention, whether he wants it or not. He just has that personality that lights up a room, and that's how my dad was. So I'm pretty sure after they met, that dad was definitely the charmer.
I know you said this on the show, and we've talked about this one-on-one. I know the passing of your dad was really hard for you. Explain to me what it means in your heart when you look at your son, Micah, and you're reminded so much of a man and your father that you love so much.
Oh, it's pure joy. Like I've said it on my Facebook post before, Micah is truly the best thing that I never knew I needed. He truly just fills up my heart and fills up that space that was left a little empty 10 years ago.
Crystal, you were awesome. Nelson County, Betty Howard. How about this? What makes Nelson County special? What still needs to change in Nelson County to be even more special? Two-part question.
Yes. So Nelson County, and to extend a little bit on why my mom was given the nickname the mayor, she truly knows almost everyone in Nelson County. Like it's no getting around knowing Betty Howard, but she's known in such a wonderful way, a positive light. She's just always positive, even though, life has dealt her some rough cards and she had some rough bumps in the road, but she's truly overcome her struggles. And I just admire her strength, and always does everything, with a smile when she's out in the community. She's worked the polls for 40 years. Wow. So that's part of the reason why she knows everybody. And I think Nelson County is special because even though I think the smallness of the community has always been special to me because I can go to Nelson and I'm going to see somebody I know and that knows my family, and folks are just in tune with each other and help each other, and I've seen my mom do that, and both of my parents, and that's how we were raised, to give back, to serve our communities, not just be there, but truly immerse ourselves in our communities and get involved with people and show compassion to people. The organization that my mom is on the board of directors for, Blue Ridge Interfaith Ministries, that organization was started by Miss Christine Vance, who, Dr. Leanne Webb, she said, it took a rock star village, for her to be helped with her kids and everything. And that's what we had as well growing up. So that really resonated with me when she said that, because Miss Christine Vance was also our neighbor, and she started just making baskets for people who were sick or elderly. And so when she started that, I believe she met with another wonderful family friend, Kathy Harmon, and this just giving of baskets turned into a full nonprofit where they have paid light bills, paid mortgages, making sure people are able to keep their kids. I know my mom and Miss Harmon have showed up to court for folks to vouch for them. So they are truly like on the ground serving their communities. And I encourage anyone that if you're looking for a nonprofit to support, definitely support Blue Ridge Interfaith Ministries, because they're truly serving our community. And of course, always support Piedmont Housing Alliance, because we are too. So.
She's the chairwoman of Piedmont Housing Alliance, and she represents them extremely well. Couple more questions. What do you want to see change from Nelson?
I think I want the same things to change in Nelson that I want to change everywhere else. And that goes back to that point of what Carl was speaking about, in politics, these folks that are the decision makers in our community. I truly want folks in office that have the mindset of putting their community first and truly trying to change the lives of everyone for the better. And I know that you can't possibly please everyone, but to just see the desire and to see the honesty and transparency from folks, that truly makes a difference when we're serving our community. And I would love to see that more, not just in Nelson, but everywhere, honestly.
Crystal dropping bombs over here, knowledge bombs. All right, we got to highlight the business. We got Valentine's Day around the corner. Fellas, you need ideas here. Come on, come on, come on. Renee's Boutique, LLC, the show is yours, Crystal.
Yeah, like I said, check out our new collection, the Mystery Tote. That's a bonus. I mean, you get 5. If you've never shopped with Renee's Boutique, this is an incredible deal. You're getting 5 pieces from various collections of my shop, so you truly get to sample what I offer. And also, I'm going to personally style it for you. I'm the personal stylist for the everyday woman. So it's not too often that you get that type of access of personal styling. So check out Renee'sBoutiqueLLC.com.
Dude, you brought the swagger today. I love it. I love it. Hey, good stuff. And I sincerely meant what I said. I think your father is incredibly proud of everything you've done, and his spirit is in Micah.
Thank you. It definitely is, and he keeps us laughing and smiling. He's a wonderful kid, and I had a wonderful father and an incredible mother that I'm just truly honored to be their daughter.
We are honored to have her on this show. Her name is Crystal Napier. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Gary. Have a good one.
You too, Crystal. She is awesome. She is awesome. Love Crystal. getting choked up over here too on a Wednesday. Good night. All right, that's the show. Crystal, you did a hell of a job today. Carl Brown, you did as well. This is the I Love Seville show, guys. Thank you for joining us on a Wednesday. We're going to be back at 3 o'clock with What's Barking Local with Patty Zeller and Animal Connection, spotlighting the best of the animal community. I'm going to spend 60 seconds closing with our plan for Friday. On Friday from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., we're going to do the Charlottesville Affordable Housing Telethon with an opportunity to raise $150,000 for the Thomas Jefferson Community Land Trust to buy a piece of property on 10th Street Northwest. If we can raise $150K on Friday through crowdsourcing methods and a 12-hour live telethon on this network, then the land trust can buy the land, and eventually that's going to translate into 5 units of affordable housing tied to area median income. That's our goal for Friday. Join us at 10 a.m., please. We'll have musicians, we have artists, we have agents of positive change, we have chefs, we have entrepreneurs, we have leaders. It's an eclectic mix of fantastic people over a 12 or 13-hour period on Friday with the goal of raising money for affordable housing. That's the plan. Friday at 10 a.m. on the I Love Seville Network. My name is Jerry Miller. For Carl Brown, for Crystal Napier, and Judah Wickhauer, this is the I Love Seville show. You guys take care.